What if I told you that most of the suffering in your life is your fault? Not because of what happened to you, but because of how you chose to see it. Harsh. Yes. True. Absolutely. This is one of the brutal truths Epictetus taught, a former slave who turned into one of the most powerful voices in Stoic philosophy. If you're constantly overwhelmed, always blaming others, or searching for peace in a chaotic world, then you're ignoring the very wisdom that could set you free. Before we dive into the harshest lessons Epictetus left for us, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to support our journey, and watch till the end, because these aren't just philosophical ideas. They are tools for living a strong, unshakable life. Number 1. You control nothing but your mind. Epictetus was brutally clear about this. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Most people spend their lives trying to control things outside their power, their job, their relationships, their status, their past. But Epictetus says that's a waste of time. The only thing you truly own is your thoughts, judgments, and choices. Imagine being stuck in traffic. You can't move the cars. You can't change the lights. But you can decide whether to scream or stay calm. That's the battlefield of the mind, and it's the only one you should be fighting on. A man who masters his internal world becomes untouchable by the external one. Take Epictetus himself, born a slave, crippled in one leg, and yet still able to say he was free. Because his freedom wasn't about movement, but mindset. That's what most people miss. Freedom doesn't come from power or money. It comes from discipline over your own reactions. If you want real peace, learn to let go of what you can't control and double down on what you can. Your attitude, your response, your inner dialogue. Everything else is noise. Number 2, pain is the price of strength. One of Epictetus' harshest teachings is this: difficulties show what men are. He believed that suffering isn't the enemy, comfort is. In modern society, we're obsessed with avoiding discomfort, but that's what keeps us weak. According to him, pain is the ultimate teacher. You don't grow in ease. You grow when you're tested. Let's say you're betrayed by a close friend. The easy path is anger, self-pity, and victimhood. The Stoic path? Reflection, restraint, and learning. Epictetus would say, use the betrayal to become wiser. Use the pain to become stronger. Every wound is an opportunity to become more resilient, if you don't waste it on complaints. This is why true Stoics seek hardship, not because they're masochists, but because they know strength only comes through resistance. Just like iron becomes steel through fire, you must go through trials to sharpen your soul. Next time life hits you hard, and it will, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this shaping me into? That shift in mindset alone can change your life completely. Number 3, other people's opinions mean nothing. Here's where Epictetus punches ego in the face. He says, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, stop caring what people think. Most people are prisoners to the opinions of others. They crave validation. They shape their lives to avoid judgment. And in doing so, they abandon themselves. Consider someone who wants to change careers, go back to school, or start a business, but doesn't because they're afraid of looking like a failure. Epictetus would call that madness. Why trade your inner peace for someone else's approval? Why let people who don't live your life dictate how you live it? Real strength is doing what's right even when it's unpopular. It's saying no when a crowd says yes. It's accepting being misunderstood, ridiculed, or even hated, and doing it anyway. Because you're not here to impress. You're here to evolve. So if you want to live freely, detach yourself from the crowd. Take the hard path. And remember, the only opinion that truly matters is the one you have about yourself. Number 4, life owes you nothing. Entitlement is a disease of modern times. Epictetus would laugh at the idea that life should be fair. He believed life isn't good or bad. It just is. And if you expect it to hand you happiness, you'll be disappointed forever. His quote says it all. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. You weren't promised love, success, or comfort. You weren't even promised tomorrow. Everything is borrowed. Your body, your breath, your time. Once you accept that, gratitude becomes your natural state. And suffering? It becomes optional. Take someone who loses their job. The entitled mindset cries, "This is unfair." The Stoic mindset says, "This is life." Now what? That's power. That's control. That's maturity. Not because it feels good, but because it's rooted in reality. Entitlement leads to bitterness. Acceptance leads to peace. Don't waste time demanding life be different. Instead, prepare yourself to face life exactly as it is. Raw, unpredictable, and full of surprises. Number 5. Freedom requires discipline. Here's the paradox that shocks most people. True freedom is born from discipline. Epictetus was strict about self-control. If you want to be free from fear, anger, and chaos, then you must master yourself first. He said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Think about it. People believe freedom means doing whatever they want, but that leads to addiction, weakness, and regret. The man who drinks whatever, eats whatever, says whatever, is not free. He's a slave to his impulses. But the man who controls himself, he's untouchable. Take a soldier in training. He wakes up early, endures discomfort, obeys commands. From the outside, it looks like restriction, but what he gains is courage, clarity, and control. That's real freedom, not chaos, but conscious action. If you want to live like a Stoic, start by mastering your urges. Delay gratification. Build habits that serve your future. Say no to what weakens you and yes to what strengthens you. That's how you become unbreakable. Number 6. Excuses are lies you tell yourself. Epictetus didn't believe in excuses. He believed in ownership. His view was simple. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Most people don't fail because of their situation. They fail because of their story. The one they repeat to themselves, day after day, that justifies weakness, fear, and procrastination. Let's say you're overweight, unhappy, or broke. The average person blames the system, their parents, or bad luck. Epictetus would tell you to look in the mirror, not with shame, but with brutal honesty. Because if your mind is the source of the problem, then it's also the key to the solution. This doesn't mean your challenges aren't real. It means your reaction to them defines your destiny. You can either accept responsibility or keep surrendering to excuses. You can either take action or continue hiding behind stories that protect your ego. If you want real transformation, destroy your excuses. Catch yourself when you say, "I can't," or "it's not fair," and replace it with "what can I do?" That's the mindset shift that separates the strong from the soft. Number 7, you're not special, you're capable. Modern culture loves telling people they're special. Epictetus hated that. He didn't believe in special treatment or magical destinies. He believed in effort. His message was, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In other words, stop talking, start doing. The idea that you're uniquely broken, uniquely doomed, or uniquely exceptional is an illusion. You're not the only one with trauma. You're not the only one with fear. You're not the only one who's struggling. What matters is what you do in spite of it. Epictetus was a slave. No rights, no power, crippled, and yet he became one of the most respected philosophers in history. Not because he was special, because he used what he had. Most people wait for motivation or the perfect moment. Stoics don't. They move forward regardless of how they feel. So stop waiting for permission. Stop needing praise. Stop believing that your pain makes you different. It doesn't. What makes you different is whether you rise anyway. Number 8, you become what you practice. Here's a heavy one. Every habit and faculty is preserved and increased by corresponding actions. Epictetus believed that what you do repeatedly becomes who you are. Every choice you make carves your character, for better or worse. If you constantly avoid discomfort, you're practicing weakness. If you give in to anger, you're rehearsing emotional slavery. If you gossip, scroll endlessly, or indulge in impulsive habits, you're training yourself to be shallow, reactive, and unfocused. But here's the flip side. If you face what scares you, hold your tongue when angry, and stick to discipline when no one's watching, you're slowly building a fortress inside. A Stoic doesn't become wise overnight. They become wise by making small, conscious decisions over time. Want to become courageous? Do one thing each day that scares you. Want to become focused? Eliminate one distraction and replace it with stillness. Epictetus would say, don't try to be, train to be. Number 9, complaining makes you weak. If there's one habit Epictetus would crush today, it's complaining. He believed that verbalizing negativity poisons the mind. He said, do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do. In short, life doesn't need your whining, it needs your wisdom. Every time you complain, you reinforce victimhood. You focus on problems, not solutions. And worse, you spread that energy to others. Complaining feels good in the moment. It gives you an identity, but it comes at the cost of your strength. Now imagine 2 people lose their jobs. One complains for weeks and gets stuck. The other gets to work immediately, adapts, and grows. Who's the Stoic? Who's the one evolving? Epictetus taught that every setback is either fuel or a funeral, depending on how you respond. Train yourself to catch complaints before they leave your mouth. Replace them with questions. What can I learn? How can I grow? What's within my control? That's how you turn pain into power. Number 10. The world owes you nothing for your goodness. Here's one of the most painful truths Epictetus taught. Don't expect anything in return for doing the right thing. The world doesn't owe you applause for being kind, honest, or fair. If you expect rewards for virtue, you're not virtuous, you're transactional. Many people live with quiet resentment because they did good things and didn't get recognition. They were loyal and got betrayed, honest and got punished, kind and got ignored. Epictetus would say, good. That's exactly when your character is being tested. Virtue, to the Stoic, is the reward itself. You don't act rightly for praise. You act rightly because it makes you stronger, wiser, and more in control. If your kindness depends on people's reactions, it's not kindness, it's manipulation. Detach your actions from outcomes. Be good because it's who you are, not because the world notices, not because someone says thank you. That's real strength. That's real stoicism. These lessons aren't gentle. They're not comforting. And that's the point. Epictetus didn't want to make life easier. He wanted to make you stronger. If you take these ideas seriously, you'll become someone no crisis can break, no failure can define, and no opinion can shake. If this video gave you clarity, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment with the lesson that hit you the hardest. This channel is about building real strength, and your support helps keep this journey going.